John Eats Cheap with the pantry freezer project. Got these out of the freezer, pork medallions. This is off of a pork loin that I bought, a whole one, which is a way to buy it, and then cut it up in individual boneless chops. And these were kind of like the end pieces that are small, so we call them medallions. You could make pork tenderloin sandwiches out of that, but we're going to bread them up and fry them and just kind of make a nice little pork cutlet. And of course, we got the big hash brown mistake. So somebody asked, how do you make those? How do you do these? Well, so I put it in just a little container like this, the dried hash browns. I like to add some minced onion, which Mrs. Cheap, look at that. I'm going to add that in because those will water up. We'll add the water and it'll rehydrate both. And don't be worried. I know we're almost out, but we have more thanks to an ordering mistake. Oh, wait a second. It was a slight ordering mistake.
I did that like 3 years ago.
3 years ago, yeah, and we still have 3 full ones left. Fortunately, I don't think they have an expiration date, so that's the good thing, and neither do these. So we're just going to fill this up now with very hot water, hot water out of the faucet. Cover it, let those rehydrate, and I'm going to bread up our pork medallions. So we're going to start out, season the flour. I got some seasoned salt, pretty liberally, and some black pepper, lots of pepper. And just kind of mix that up. So here's just kind of what I call our pork medallions. Not really medallions. That would make a great pork tenderloin deep fried sandwich or like a thin boneless pork chop. So we're just going to get that into that seasoned breading, nice and coated. And one for me. Yeah, this is pretty much just like a thin boneless pork chop. Got one little, now that's almost more like a medallion. And we'll go ahead and do that too. That'll be a good taste tester. All right, I'm going to put these into the fridge for about 30 minutes while our hash browns are rehydrating. I'm going to save this flour because we're going to double bread and then leave this. We'll use it later to make a nice little gravy or sauce. All right, so we're getting the pans on the stove hot. I drained a little bit of water off the hash browns, but there they are, all rehydrated, ready to go. So there you can see they can use a little more breading. Look at that. So I'm going to bread them again. Or not bread them, just dust them in this seasoned flour. And we'll be ready to fry. So getting the pan ready for the hash browns. We have bacon grease or bacon fat.
We need to eat some bacon. We don't
We
have
do.
any bacon.
Well, we have more bacon ready to go. I do a mix. I do a little bacon fat, and I'm not going to say a little. I mean, that's a lot. A couple tablespoons of butter. But those hash browns really absorb that stuff, so you need a lot. Let that melt, and we'll get them in there. So our bacon fat, butter all melted. This is a lot of taters, but it's going in. This is going to be a thick version of hash browns. It's hard. I'm not used to knowing how much is going to be there. Oh, there'll be some leftovers, but that's okay.
Maybe.
This is going to be some thick but crispy. It'll be thick in the middle, but crispy on the outside. So there's our browns. And, oh, I got to get that off of that. That's a hot burner.
What are you doing?
I'm preparing it for this. We got to flip this first, though.
Because you have to use your favorite burner.
Well, we got to cook the pork chops. So there we go. Just like that. Nice and browned. I did season that up with some salt and pepper, by the way. So now we're going to put that back here and just kind of turn that heat down a little. Hash brown off there and heat up our oil to cook our chops. So as you can see, that's not the first meltiness that this spatula handle has gotten in about 35 years.
You tease me because we have a 12-year supply of minced onions.
old spatula. All right, so I put a little test portion in, and the oil's ready. So I'm going in with the thin chops. Fry them until golden. All right, so our chops are done, nice and golden. I poured most of the oil out. I left, I don't know, a couple of teaspoons. I'm going to add a little bit of butter in there. Got that flavor. I'm going to add a little bit of flour. I don't know, a tablespoon and a half. Just kind of get this whisked up. I'm going to knock at the door, Phoebe. That was Dad cooking. She's mad because she doesn't get any of this.
Your parents gave gravy to the dog.
Oh, jeez. My parents fed chili to the dog, and the dog lived to be 19. And that was chili with onions, so I don't know. All right, let me get my milk here, Mrs. Cheap.
I think they specifically made gravy for the dog.
Well, on the farm, my grandparents always just made gravy every night for the cats in the barn. You know, they lived on mice and gravy. What a life. They would just make a big, I don't know, two-quart thing of gravy every night with whatever was left over. Give it to the barn cats. So our hash browns, as you can see, are pretty much done. Our thin chops are done. I just want to get this a little thick, and it's thickening up now. Just for a little sauce, or I'm going to add a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper, and this will be for the chops and the hash browns if we choose. So we got the pork loin. We've got the, got to get my spatula for these hash. Oh, still sizzling because they're so good. And yeah, there'll be a little left over, but golden brown, but soft in the middle hash browns. And finish that off with a little of the pork gravy on the chop. You can do it on the side, a little bit on the browns, because I like my browns too. And there you go. Look at that. Freezer, pantry, and just coming up with something with John Eats Cheap. Loving this project.